ಮುಂದೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರು ಡಿಪಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ ಈ ಕುರಿತು ಅವರು ನಮಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ತೆರವುಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರು ಡಾನ್ಸರ್, ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್, ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ ಇನ್ IIT ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್. ಮೂಲತಃ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಕಲಾವಿದರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಮೀರಾ ನಾರಾಯಣನ್, ಶ್ರೀ ಗೋಪಿನಾಥನ್, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಲೀಲಾ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ಸನ್, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ CV ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಜಯಾ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಬ್ರಗಾ ಬೆಸೆಲ್ ಮುಂತಾದ ಅತಿರಥರ ಬಳಿ ಶಿಷ್ಯವೃತ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಪದವೀಧರರಾದಂತಹ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಶೈವ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮೊ ಪದವಿ ಪಡೆಯುವುದರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಪದವಿ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಿರುವಾರೂರಿನ ಶೈವ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳ ಕುರಿತು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕುರಿತು ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳು ಹೀಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ: ತಿರುವಾರೂರು ಸ್ಥಳಂ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ರುಕ್ಮಿಣಿ ದೇವೀಸ್ ಕೊರಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೋತ್ಸವಂ ಆಫ್ ತಿರುವಾರೂರ್, ಫೆಮಿನೈನ್ ನೆರೇಟಿವ್, ದೇವಿ core and concept, Manmata as interpreted in mythology, philosophy and art, significance of temple in the society past and present, Drishti, a traditional perspective of Sthapati, Sri Nataraja in South Indian worship and literature, iconography as an input and dance, ಮೇಲ್ ಡಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಇವು ಅವರ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರು ಮಂಡಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಹಲವು ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳು ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಮದ್ರಾಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯೂ ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಅನೇಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಂದ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಪುರಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಹಲವು ಪ್ರಮುಖ ವೇದಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಂದರ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸಾಧಕ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರ ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಯಾಭಾವ ಇರೋದರಿಂದ ಸಾಂಕೇತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಗೌರವದಿಂದ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾ ತಮ್ಮ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಆರಂಭಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಸರ್. ಶ್ರೀ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ವೀಣಾ ಸಿ ಶೇಷಾದ್ರಿ ಅವರು ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನು. ಆ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಶ್ರೀ P ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ನಟುವಾಂಗ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವರ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಕೇಳುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಅವರು ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ, ಡಿಪಿಕ್ಷನ್, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ.
Namaskaram. I welcome you all for this morning's presentation on spirituality, depiction, practice and essence in Indian dance. The crux of the matter, I would open that assuming or in line with the idea that dance is a profession. Yes, dance is a profession. Okay, having said that, let us discuss what a profession is in the Indic context. Many of us in the urban situation would answer this that it is a mode of livelihood. Yes, of course, no one denies it. But interestingly, Indic thought says, Indian language has very beautiful words. For job we called Naukri. What does it mean? As if there is a boat, as if there's a flowing river of ocean of life and you need a boat to cross it. The boat is called a nauka and the job of running it is called the naukri. You cross the ocean with something given vessel. That is called a naukri. Basically, a job is given to you. The first and primeval reason to do a job is to wash your rina, to wash your debts. Kadan. There are 5 debts generally the Indic thought would speak about. We are not going to go in detail about it, but let us all be very honest. A job is given to us to wash our rina. Yesteryears, people never changed job just because they never got their remuneration. They got it, they never got it. They had to continue it because there is no returns expected. The returns expected is by washing your rina. Number 1. Number 2, a profession is done so that you collect survey data. You have your survey data of your own reality. There is reality right there, and every profession looks at reality in a particular way. By exercising their own rights of doing their profession, they collect certain set of survey data. They carefully pass it on to the next generation. Hey, do the job this way because this is how we have seen reality to be. It's a very, very, very carefully manicured, augmented set of, I would call, data. Why data? This word data is actually, it has an Indo-European root. It comes from the word data. That which affords or gives something is called a data. It doesn't take it from you. It gives you something. It has an Indo-European root. The third aspect, interestingly, every day morning we wake up with a kind of a good morning. Hey, good morning, be successful. If you want to be successful, do A, B, C. Actually, it's just the other way around. No profession should encourage you about success. Rather, it should teach you how to handle failure. More than anything, no student should be encouraged to trace a path of success, but rather should be taught how to handle disrespect. How to handle something. If someone has shamed you in public, how do you handle the situation? If education has not educated you on this, if profession has not taught us this, it's not worth any sadhana, any education. And that profession, which only focuses one to climb the success, howsoever it is, cannot be deemed a profession in its holistic nature. Now, why do we discuss this? Interestingly, any profession finally would certainly emphasize on ephemeralness of reality. That which is physical is ephemeral. Body, not going to be there. Emotions, the least of significance. But all of this we realize as and when we do our profession. We do our profession so deeply that finally we realize, isme kya hai? But still we do it. At that particular point, why should I do it? Everyone, what do we get out of this? What am I getting? This is a non-stop chattering question for any professional. But yet, you being a doctor, even you hate the patient in your doors, you administer the medicine. Because a professional can't choose a client. That is their dharma. Same, all these parameters apply to dance. The first thing is about the idea of kacheri. Next slide, please. Yeah. This is a term we generally use to do our concert, quote unquote. This term is found in Sharda civilization, the scriptures of Sharda. I'm just taking all of us to Srinagar there, to the valley of Srinagar, Kashmir, where there's utmost tension. But all of us know it's the hotbed of Indic knowledge, used to be that. Till Dravidian civilization, till Dravidian language, we have this word called kacheri. What does it actually mean? Any administrative, judicial, and legislative engagement is called a kacheri. And I need not see that to Kannadigas, because still the word of kacheri is still used for office. Kacheri is not entertainment, kacheri is office. It's a serious business, where administrative and legislative and judiciary issues are to be resolved. Every single kacheri is a place where some dharma charchas are happening. Every single performance is only rectifying dharma adharma charcha. Directly or indirectly, there is some dharma charcha within space. You're negotiating space here and there. You're negotiating time. But ultimately, what has to be said? Can we reach Mangalam or not? How are we reaching this? These are important modus operandi, the methods to operate or design a so-called kacheri. Henceforth, a kacheri is not an entertainment evening. Yesteryears, if there is a kacheri, people had to be invited. Without invitation, they would not come. Because there is going to be a serious debate there. A kacheri is a participation. You call everyone. All the people with their cloth, they come. Carrying an upper cloth is an important aspect of carrying a kacheri. When they come to the kacheri, the first thing yesteryears was served. Next. This is a kacheri. Something has happened in the village. we have to resolve it. That is a kacheri. And still we know this usage is there in Kannada, Marathi, in certain parts of Tamil Nadu, in certain parts of Kerala, and certainly in certain, kacheri is a very important term, and it's not entertainment. Please, it's, next slide. Kacheri always has an external entity to the kacheri called a Sakshi Bhav. Without Sakshi, kacheri would not start. What are the Sakshi Bhav given? A tree, an anthill, a putta, gods and ancestors you call, water body, a pot of water kept aside, lamp, a pot of water, there, fire torch, weapon, cloth, upper cloth. These had to be submitted in front. Any of this stands as a sakshi for the discussion. Generally, the heads, the sabhas, they say, let the kacheri start. Water is given to them before the kacheri. By the end of the kacheri, if there is a change in the taste of the water, then something is wrong. We can directly relate this to the temple. Tirtha is served because every single day, 6 times darbar the god is doing. In his darbar, by the end of the darbar, he is giving judgment. By the end of the judgment, he is serving the water. It's a kacheri. He is doing 6 kacheris. Arakala kacheri he does. Because as a lord, he is the sabha, he is the sabhapati. And the Garbhagudi is the sabha. Having said this, we are very familiar with these motives. We are very familiar. All of us are still familiar with these motives, that this is how a kacheri would start. And actually, the main crux matter lies in discussing the dharma. So you're submitting your upper cloth. Why do we do it in water body? These are very dangerous issues because water body is a common commodity. One can't afford to change the taste by end of it. So you would never lie in front of it. The kacheris used to happen when the entire village has gone for a toss. Something is wrong in the entire village. Invite a melam. Invite a Sangita Melam, invite a Natya Melam. Do it in front of any public spaces so that the unseen and unforeseen spaces and times gets resolved. The disharmony is reverted to harmony. Next slide, please. These are the familiar sakshis for us, the trees. These are photographs I've taken. This was in Pondicherry area, this was in Kerala. That in the base of the tree, you find a lamp there. That is where traditionally the kuttu were happening. Next. The gods and the ancestors. This was another place in the Viluppuram district in Tamil Nadu where they used to perform. Next. We are very familiar with this motive, that around the temple, this is a sakshi for the dharma-adharma charcha within the temple itself. Next. A very, very, very old drama, still we are familiar with. Tiruvannamalai. The fire on top of the mountain, that stands as a standing sakshi for the cosmos to say its truth. Next. The cloth and the lamp as a sakshi is a very familiar notice to us. A cloth is an important delimiting factor between the world which is imitated here and the reality there. It is a bifurcation. Well, the lamp kind of gives us as a conduit between both the worlds. It serves as a conduit between both the worlds. It impenetrates between each other, rather. Next. Weapon as a sakshi for us. Next. This we discussed. Water as a sakshi. Yesteryears, water bodies are so importantly, any promises, many of the pratignyas were taken in front of water bodies. Marriages used to happen in the banks of water bodies. Tapas used to happen in front of water bodies. Water will decide the nature of the act, and that will show the fruit also. We need not search anywhere else. Great, great samagamas, great brindas. Brindam in the sense, I mean the samadhis of great rishis used to be in the banks. Just as Sir mentioned, when Tyagaraja, where is he actually? In the banks of Kaveri. And what do? We offer ourselves in the banks the same taste. Because Kaveri at that particular time, when anyone takes early morning dip, they would know it tastes different. Next slide, please. Water is a sakshi for the kacheri. Water has a memory and carries with it our thoughts and prayers. As you yourself are water, no matter where you are, your prayers will be carried to the rest of the world. This is not a wording of any philosopher, quote unquote. This is a result of a Japanese professor who worked that water is not a insentient being, it's a cognitive being. It has cognition in it, and experiments are exhaustively happening. That's why suddenly there's a wake from the environment scientists that water has to be conserved, because water has something to do with memory. It has some memories of the past. This is a quote not of a philosopher, not of Sri Aurobindo or Ramana. It comes from a professor of Tokyo. Next. The idea of the kacheri is to take a seat of judgment. Someone is invited. Why? Because the augmented reality or recreated reality is shown to every one of us, so that everyone are not audience, as the English term would go. They are sakshi. Everyone are asked to be judges. Now, as a human being, what would be the greatest padavi you want to have? Is to be a judge. I want to judge. And someone invites to be a judge, you reserve your opinion. I could be someone's son, I could be someone's husband, someone's brother, someone's friend. But when I watch a kacheri, a performance, an augmented reality in front of me, a work of art, I reserve my opinion, and my judgment is my judgment. Because this is a right to be a human being, to be an audience, to be a sensitive audience is to carry the rights of it. You should not give up your rights. So kacheri is a huge matter in the Indic context, where everyone who have been invited have the right to create an opinion, rather to relieve from opinion and create a value out of it. Next slide. One of the biggest kacheris we know, where the India is getting, there's a Delhi kacheri. Next kacheri, please. There are two sabhas in this kacheris are happening daily, the upper and the lower house. There's a judiciary kacheri happening. Next. Atara kacheri of Karnataka government. The Sharda civilization speaks about 18 Atara kacheri is a term from, you find it in 2nd century. There are many, many older texts which speak about Atara kacheri. You find that in many scriptures in South India also. 18 becomes a very important term. Even in Tamil Nadu, we say Padanettu Patti Gramam. For 18 villages, you have one zamindar. 18 villages, you have one panchayata, major panchayats. This 18 is an important governance term, and 18 farganas is another important term when it comes to administration. Next. Yeah. Actually, whenever we use the term Sabhapati, it is so important that way back in 1950s, the constitution creators of India has realized the entity, the so-called cosmic dancer entity, whom is the biggest Sabhapati or the constitutional head of the world. Because Chidambaram is a constitution by itself. Srirangam is a constitution by itself. They are Sabhapatis. They are Sabhanatha. He is a Rangaraja, he is a Nataraja. They have their own constitutions. They have their own danda. They have their own aranga. They have their own protocols. Now to pick up one of these motifs and make a constitutional entity. The picture what I have taken is not from any book, it's from Constitution of India. Constitution of India has 22 images as constitutional entities which are actually secular, quote unquote, secular image, non-religious. Sri Rama is one. All of us know because of that only the Ayodhya case won in 1990s. That was an important quote given by the Supreme Court that Sri Rama is a constitutional entity. Out of 22 images, Sri Nataraja is one. Because he is a constitutional entity exercising something called an eternal kacheri for the cosmos. And he is doing the judiciary, legislative, and administrative role for the cosmos. Henceforth, there is no other better imagery in Indian iconographic study to make dance and theatre as something to do with administration. Because the biggest drama we play in an independent urban situation is the drama of nation. There's nothing called nation. Nation is one of the biggest dramas what a country can play on us, because a state itself is another drama. That's why we call the constitution to be part of act. The word act comes for the reason it is to do with drama, and a very important chapter for anyone who is dealing with judgment, with justice, who's doing research on justice, they want to read chapter 1 and 2 of Natya Shastra. It has the most intricate dharma charchas and dharma sankatas to be resolved. Now, to do a kacheri is to resolve a dharma. That is the primeval goal of reading, perhaps the primeval goal to read Natya Shastra itself. Can we resolve dharma adharma? Next slide. Next slide, please. Next. Next, please. Yeah. Those days it was very important that we did kacheris. Now kacheris are very varieties. One variety is Aata Kacheri. Now Aata Kacheris generally are done to resolve the issues in space and time. In some place, something is not well. The house has not given birth. There's no children. There's no marriages not happening. Invite one Bayalata. Invite one Yakshagana team. In front of the houses, in front of the villages, for the entire village, they would exercise this. Why? Say the story of time to the current time. Saying a story of harmonized time, harmonized space, completely packed, inner tectonics of the storyline is completely resolved. The disputes are completely resolved, not just verbally, frame by frame, seed to fruition, the entire thing is resolved and presented back to the current time to say, hey, there is a gap. Now, presentation, this is called saying a story to the story, saying a time to the time. This is a complex idiom, yet this is what happens when we say a completely balanced show, a completely resolved story. This is why they would invite big teams. In those days, I think all the elders here would know. At home, they would invite, at big houses and the palaces, they would invite these teams to perform. If they don't have a proper returns or harvest that particular year, they would invite a Bayalata team. They would invite to play on the ground, to play on the kshetra, on the field, so that the fertility springs back. These are important charchas to be brought back to discussion why this happened. Because that particular field is called kshetra, and one who knows to handle a kshetra is called a kshetragnya. Basically, the term kshetragnya is given to the highest farmer. That's why Sri Krishna takes this name kshetragnya. In the Kurukshetra, the kshetra is a farmland. A farmland is the best place to have war. There are multiple livings between farmland and war. Now, he being the best of the farmer, he being the best of the kshetragnya, he has done a soil test also. How did he do the soil test? One of the best soil tests is you put it into your tongue and taste the soil. They take a cubit of it and put it into the mouth and taste it. And say, experts in soil test would be able to say the entire history what has happened in that kshetra and vis-a-vis everywhere. This Sri Krishna has done when he was young. He put the soil in his mouth and said to his own mother, what has happened in Gokula? It's a kshetragnya soil test. And this is a kacheri. Next slide, please. Next. This we discussed. When we do a kacheri, is doing Srimantana, doing Janma, during Namakarana, during Janmadina, Vivaha, loss of health, loss of wealth. There are many areas we do a kacheri so that we resolve the issues. Next. Yeah. Kacheri by itself is a being. It has a prana. You have to define the pranas for a kacheri. We have to define the panchakoshas for the kacheri. It has its own manas, it has its own Atman. But that particular being is a composite being of many other beings within it. It has a Raga Sharira within it, it has a Tala Sharira within it, it has a Sahitya Sharira within it. There are multiple bodies living within one holistic body in which dancer is only a co-host. A dancing body is a co-host to a kacheri. They co-work to each other. Well, who knows this? Performers know this. At times you perform, it happens, it doesn't happen. I've given my best, it doesn't happen. At times perhaps I underplayed, but everyone is saying what was great. Because there are some other forces, obviously yes. They are not something mystical forces, they are formal forces. Those lakshanas are already given in the Shastras. We will be able to investigate what these forces are. It is not out of our control. It is under control, but only certain aspects we keep it as Gudha. Rest all is discussable. What has happened in the Kacheri? It's a formal discussion. Saying that Kacheri is a being. Naturally, it has a Janma, it has its growth, it has its Mukti also. It has to be liberated by the end of, and you say, please leave us. You can't hold that Sharira with us. You have to say a Mangalam to it. But Adi Madhyam Mangalam, Madhya Mangalam, Anta Mangalam. When it's born, you have to say a Mangalam. Sing a Todai Mangalam. Start it. Mela Prapti. Start with a Mangalam. Madhya Mangalam. Antam bhi Mangalam. It is a being. Next. Well, if you say a Kacheri is a being by itself, it also has a Namakarana. It also has the 16th thing. It also has a marriage, Vivaha. Everything it undergoes, and it also leaves a premise. Next. But this is a part one. The end of the rina of the professional dancer actor is washed by doing a kacheri in its intent, quote unquote, as an instrument of dharma. We'll go to next PDF. Next PDF. 2. Number 2, no? The PDF, you open the PowerPoint. Yeah. As I told you, Kacheri is a being. It has its originary forces. When the force comes from outside and hits inside and crashes, it's called death. But from internal force breaks and comes out, it's called birth. Birth of a Kacheri is from internal. It's not from external. It's from this being, it has to be born, burst out and come. It can't be some other thing getting influenced, constantly influenced, and henceforth you're pressurized to do something. It lands in death. A classic death. It has to be born from within. And there is not a poetical expression. That's how nature shows to us. If something very forceful happens on the surface, it crashes. But when it can knock and come out, even a being can come out. A huge banyan tree can come out from this much, provided it can push itself. Next slide, please. Because what is going to descend is some being which we are not familiar with. There is an originary prayer. This is a translation of one Vishwakarma Sutra. I don't know you, O thou, quote unquote, the Kacheri. I don't know you. I can't measure you. I can't design you even. Please choose my body. I lend my hands. I lend my legs. Please descend on my body and manifest yourself so that you do what this possible world can't do. You bestow what this possible world can't bestow. Because there is insufficiency in this world, we are calling Kacheri to descend. That would say reveal some other truth which is not possible in this world. Next slide. Rangadevata is a very important idea from which the origin of dance happens then and there. Here, the actor or the dancer is more or less serves like a dai. I think most of us are familiar with this word called dai, midwife. The world of art is already pregnant. It's pregnant with a lot of thought in it. And every time it is requesting for one of the artists here to give birth to something. Please help me with my pregnancy. Generally, in the Dai tradition, no one invites anyone, Dais are not invited. Dai get that instinct within the area that someone is suffering. With that, she keeps the Vettala Pak in her home, she prays to Bay Mata, her own, and she runs someone's call. Generally, ancient times. Actually, there's no difference between this and artist. The world of art, the Ranga Devata is waiting somewhere. She is pregnant and she's calling for us. Like, can you please come and take my child out? The artist, if he or she is completely a sadhaka, they get that call. Yes, there is something waiting. The sadhana is there. Now they run. This is no any different. I'm not saying it metaphorically. This is not a metaphorical expression, not a poetical expression. An artist is not the owner of the child, neither the mother. But the artist, like any other dai, has to take care of the mother and the child at least for next 6 months to 8 months to 10 years till it takes its own shape. And a very important expression, while it is born, the dai has no rights on the child. It's a being by itself. The work of art is a being by itself. It will speak to each other the way it wants to speak. It is friendly with someone, it is non-friendly with someone. Dai can't control it. So is the role of an artist. So is the role of an actor or a dancer. Yeah. In the traditional worship protocols, the Bay Mata, the Dai, they worship a Mata called Bay Mata. I'm saying about the northern Bihar area thing. And in South India, we also have many other goddesses who are worshipped for this. They are fertility symbol, gods for fertility symbol. They generally worship with inverted triangle. And generally it happens, they go to the house, they construct an inverted triangle right above the stove where the furnace is. The Dais, when I spoke with them and interviewed, they said, no pregnant woman wants a cold place to give birth. They want a warm place. So generally they will be shifted to the kitchens, a warm place. Now, having said that, they would draw an inverted triangle. From there, they'll ask the children from the house to dip their hand in the kumkuma and keep it on the side so that the mother would get her hands first. Then, they would ask the children to put their feet on the kumkuma and stamp so that the goddess will get her feet. Now, the Dai say, this is not very different from farmers. This is not very different from martial artists. Before starting, you have to stamp so that the goddess gets her feet. You show a hand so the goddess descends and sit in a Dai's position to get the child out. Sitting the Dai's position to get the child out is this. This is the gesture they use to measure the opening of the vulva when the baby is exactly to come out. This is the measure they use. The first they measure the distance from the navel to the outside with this gesture. They take it around. They touch it with this gesture by the measure of the vulva. If this is it should be with 2 hands. If this is the thickness, then the baby would come in no time. Now, what will be the first time measure is, they have to get so much amount of fluid out. This is the quantity they measure. This they called as pushpahasta. Pushpa. The fluid they called as pushpa, no flowers. The fluid is called pushpa. The moment pushpa, they get the fluid and they throw it, the first pushpa they get is the head. That's the birth. They interestingly call this as Alarali Pushpanjali. Pushpanjali is birth of an entity. Tatti Kummudal is, there is a pregnant mother there. You're holding the garland. This is the gesture of holding a garland, actually holding a mala. Kaishiki Vrittis, all the Kaishiki Vrittis, you start with holding a garland. Now, what is the garland for a dai? Interestingly, for them, the garland is a code word for umbilical cord. It's called the mala. They hold the mala. They ask the children, see, they're very interesting parallels. They throw the placenta out, they store it, they put it they dry it, they cut after later the placenta is taken, served, the umbilical cord is cut, it's dried, it's made into powder, snuffed into a talisman, into a diet, and tied to the, either for the child, as in when you grow, it has to be transferred to the arms or to the neck. It would never leave you till your death. And that is umbilical cord. Now, this would never leave a dance professional because this is holding that particular garland. You're offering it, the child is born. But the child is already conceived by and conspired by nature far before than what you know. Someone has done it. It's not we. We are only helpers to deliver and see the earth. Next. I'm going to rush now. Tatti Kumudal. This is what we say because the fetus lies within Samudra. Samudra Vasane Devi. Within water. Parvata Sthana Mandale. The sthanas are what is the suckling breasts of the mother. Natyam Karishye, the Natyam here is about the pain, and the Padagatam Kshamasmaye is about that birth they are speaking about. And this is not one Mangalacharan I've collected. There are many Mangalacharans in different editions. They would stamp it, they put their hastas, proper hastas in farming tradition, weaving tradition, potter's tradition. All of them speak about this triangle. They hold the triangle in different ways. Here, holding the triangle here. This triangle is an important thing, and this position is a constant offering of a midwife. Now, I would call a dancing body who would just take the role of a midwife immediately and do the Pushpanjali and take the child of art now. I invite Veena to do Tatti Kumudal. These are all measures. We would do that. Yeah. Dhalang, kutakadi, kutakada, dinginatum. Next slide. Actually, very few people are even allowed to tattu. If you do a tattu, not everyone, yesterday's people say, why are you always tapping? To tap a ground is not good. You can't even dig it. Today we are digging it 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet. That's a different question. Yesteryears, only certain permitted professions are allowed to dig, that too with permission. That too asking pardon. The farmers ask pardon. The dancers have to ask pardon. Because yesterday's farmers, the farming model was not underwater irrigation, it's surface water irrigation. Indian agriculture was not an underwater irrigation model, it's a surface water irrigation model. For every 18 villages, you can have one well, bigger well, I'm saying like Vavi, big Baulis, big Vavs and Vavis, big Geres, are all like permitted social understandings. For 18 villages, you have one. For one Kacheri, you would have one well. Because it is permitted exercise. Even while you're dancing, you have to ask pehle to permission and say, can I take your baby out? Next. Yes, next. 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 This is the leg position in the Tatti Kumudal. You'd see the mother taking her child out. This is the mother goddess in Peru. And we see the symbol across the globe that many mother goddesses take this position while they're getting worshipped. Next slide. This is same. This is from an African tribe. This is from Assam. Goddess Kamakya's temple, the yogini, one of the yoginis there. Next. Well, as and when she is giving birth, she holds the Chandra in her hand. The moon, they say the Chandra Kala descends. The power of moon, the Amrita Phala descends for the mother. Henceforth, the mother goddess holds the Chandra Kala in her hand. That controls serpent also. The serpentine powers are coming under control by that. Yes. This is called, that's a Mojadara Harappa toy. We can clearly see she's not very different. Mother goddess is in the Aramandi position, whatever we call. The center is certainly, this is from the Egypt, the center one, and this is also from the Egypt. Holding the hand and tying this is a moon position, where it is hosting another moon inside. There's a moon, and there's a moon. And there's another moon. There are several moons within. It's a key to several reflective moons. Next. That is the image of Isis, goddess Isis. She is standing in this, like we are all familiar with this, so-called Natyaramba. Natyaramba is the flight. Interestingly, she holds the sun in her crown. She holds moon in her hand, moon position, and sun in her crown. And these postures are the worshipable mother goddesses in Egypt. All of us are very familiar with these dance postures. And actually, they are mother goddesses' resting postures. Next. This is a classic Tatti Kumbadal, what we do. Just remove the Sakhis there, we understand what is happening. Next. Just now we discussed about it. Yes, next. Hand measure is a doorway to the unseen. It measures something which we can't see. What eyes can't see, hands can see. And the hand is a doorway to another world in the heavens. From here, all the suns and the moons are here. And this is a measure also. Till recently, the local irrigation measure, any farmers, the local irrigation measure is this. This is a local irrigation measure. And to hold their weapons, you can't have a weapon which is bigger than this measure. You can't have, for marriages, they would not have saris with a border bigger woven than these two measures. That's the biggest border you can ever have. Weighing your mate, this center netichutti, it can't be bigger than these two measures of that given age, of that particular child, girl you're doing. It can't be bigger than this, because this is the direct measure from here to here, this part. This measure is they are very interesting measures within body, which is all reflective of the local. See, when someone does this, they're not just doing their hand, they are measuring. A farmer knows, yeah, she's measuring. A weaver, this is a measure also in the weaving tradition. They measure like this. Many of the adavas we do are taken from farming and weaving measuring tradition, not dancing. We say that farmers dance. No, it's farmers measure. It's a weaver's measure. Weavers measure it like this. This is a male measure. This is a female measure. This is still the hasta we do for female. This is for the male. This is holding it. This is a weaving measure. Now, these still are used in weavers when then they take the takili out. These are all exercises done by farmers and weavers for measuring. Henceforth, an adavu is a composite measurement. It's a unit of measures being kept one into the other very carefully. Next. This is a measure, a regional measure. Next. These are many hastas which we show are taken from the regional measures. Yes. Next measure. Next. Yeah, you can go. Next. These are hand gestures. Yeah, next. This is a gesture. No, 1 minute. Stop. Yeah. Taken from a farmer when he was digging, and he showed us some of what they still use. They are very much with us. Yeah, next. This is the measure they take it for using their weapons. Next. Next. To dig holes, they use these measurements. Yeah. Now, we also, yeah, 1 minute. We also understand that a mandala, a aramandi, or whatever we say, the basic mandala, the gap between the feet is not a stylistic difference. In most of the cases, the gap between the feet is the measurement what the local masons use for the construction of their houses. Because the yesteryears, it is walking that measured ittana kal, ittana adi. No, I don't know what is in Kannada, but in Tamil we say this.
Yeah, same.
The same thing. So, well, those days measurement was, yeah, you had ropes, you had things to measure. But this becomes the basic adi. They would say this is the basic adi of this region. This if it's for 3 fingers for Sharangadeva, he says 3 fingers gap for Sharangadeva. Jayappa Senani says 4 fingers. In that area, that would have been the basic metrics. When we go to Odisha, the gap is further more open. It is a basic metrics which is moving there. We come to Tanjavur area, that is called Tanjavur. See, Tanjavur has a very interesting thing. It's called Periyamuram. Periyamuram is that much what a dancer has to hold. There is something called Chidambaram Muram. It's called 25 inches. Annamalai Muram, 26 inches. Padani Muram, 24 inches. These are used by the local Vishwakarmans so that that unit is given to the dancer to hold it. And it is available in the dancer's body as units so that when they demonstrate it, something of unseen forces are flowing through the body. While dancing, we are actually measuring. As you measure, we control something which we are unseen. As it is unseen, we try to understand it. We understand it, we name it. We name it, we conquer it. Basically, it starts by measuring. Without measuring an unseen entity, you would not be able to understand it. You can't experiment, infer, and observe anything with reality. Measurement is, be it qualitative or quantitative measures. Next. I would ask Veena to, yeah, please, to demonstrate certain few adavas so that we would understand from the perspective of measurements how it is being designed. Same adavas, but I request us to look at it from that perspective of being something tectonifying within empty space. Yeah.
Are we doing the mandalas? And
First the mandalas, then the adavas.
kitta takka takka dimmi takka junnu takka dimmi takka jun 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 takka dimmi takka junnu takka taddinginnatum.
We'll go to adavas.
Kitta takka ti ya ti ya ti ya ti takka dinnatam.
Yeah. Natu.
Kitta takka ti yum datta ti hitta ha ti yum datta ti hitta ha ti yum datta ti hitta ti yum datta ti hitta ti yum datta ti hitta ti yum datta takka dinnatam.
Tatitev. Tatitev.
With the muktaya.
Yeah.
Kitta takka ta ti ta dit ti ta 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 ta ti ti ta dit ti ti ta ti ti ta dit ti ti ta ti ti ta ti dit dit ti 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 dit dit ti 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 dit dit ti tất đi gin nát tùm tắc kè tất đình gin nát tùm tắc kè đích cụ tất đình gin nát tùm kita taka tadi kita tum tak kita taka tadi kita tum tak kè đích cụ kita taka tadi kita tum.
Thank you. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, 1 minute, just. This is an important thing that yesteryears, there's a saying in Tamil, Nellukku nandoda, vaazhaikku vandiyoda. If you're planting rice, what you say in Akki. If you're planting that sapling, the gap between should be as if a nandu, a crab can crawl, not just stay, crawling space. Nellukku nandu oda. Vaazhaikku, if you're planting plantain, it should be vandi, as if a bandi can go with it. That should be the space. Now, why is this so important? Now, I would, if someone, no, I had to demonstrate it. This is the gap they still use to plant. This is called nandu clay for farmers. This is not karkata in terms of shape of a crab. This is called a measure. When you keep a sapling, this much is measured, another sapling is kept, this much is measured, another sapling is kept. This is called nandu oda. This is the running distance of a crab. Thank you. Running distance of a crab. While you're holding a plantain, what is vada, that is vandi, that is bullock cart, the distance is, see, those days there was no standardization of bullock cart. Certain bullock carts has to have a karta. They would ask, who is the karta of this particular bullock cart? Bring him. Pehle to they would take the measurement from the chest to the out. Double times of this till my body is his bullock cart's measure. So bullock cart belongs to one person. Generally, he could be the karta of the family. Now, having said that, what is this measure to do with dance? In dance, that's why when we show bullock carts or something, yesteryears there was a hand of showing it like this. Or this. For ter, that is for a horse, it is this. It little more gets shrunk. That's why there's a habit of showing a ter like this, or to show like this. This angle is important. This measure is important. Now, there are many nuances. This is still available in the ancient Vishwakarman traditions of carpenters, weavers. Many of them, these measures are still available. This is a very important saying I would understand. And next slide. For me, this is a very important thing. I'll take some time to understand. See, those days, when they said a parampara, we generally use the word vamsha. What does vamsha means? A bamboo. Vamsha is a bamboo. To measure one kanu to the other kanu, the measure used was this much. This is one generation. To show multiple generations, one kanu, next kanu, next kanu. But the central is, see, this is very interesting, from where to where the bamboo grows. It is not from low to up. From the center it expands. From unknown ancestry, whose para and para, the unknown father of the lineage is called para. Unknown mother, grandmother is called para. That's why he called Paramashiva and Parashakti. Para. Para is masculine, para, as we know, is feminine. Para combined to become parampara. Now, having said that, how do they open? The unknown parampara, para and para are close to each other. Next generation. They are like a bamboo. You can't hold it up to down. Same line. Remember, they are not senior, neither is not junior. They all live in the same Bhavasagara. No one is higher, no hierarchy there. Why this is so important? This is a Vamsha. This half is called Manava. You show someone, this is not a forehead of someone. This is not shoulder of someone. This is to measure that particular person. This is called Manava measure. Oh man, oh woman. Someone, a jiva, you have to measure like this. Now, having said that, one who controls a given Vamsham today is the Vamshi, who holds a bamboo in his hand. That's why he can be held like this, simply like this. This is one Vamsha he is holding of this generation, this Bhavasagara. He is holding one generation of 9 holes. Now, thank you to the instrument Vishwakarmas who make this. They have this measure. Bansuri is not a normal joke. You have to multiply by 9 factors. Now, there's another interesting gesture. Sorry, my dear friend. You better be here. No, sir, I want to be also here. So sorry. Oh, please, I would appreciate it. Hold it. See, we do Rajahasta. The important aspect of the Rajahasta is this hand. This is called, actually this hand is called Dandahasta, not Dolahasta. We are holding it parallel to the earth to show the constitution of the earth. Now, having done the constitution designed, you rule the constitution. That's why you can hold it first, then keep your hand here, 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 all possible. But this is important. This is pointing to the ground. The finger has to point to the ground. Either we show this or we show this also. Down, facing it down, Dola, Suchi. Alapadma is possible. Alapadma shows the entire earth. Like this, show this. There are many variants in showing the King Hasta. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Next slide. We just discussed it. Next. This is the Pushpanjali we were discussing. Out of all these measures, keeping all these things in mind, a Pushpanjali is done. Pushpanjali is kind of opening of a lotus in a water. Right? We agree with that. It's like something is coming to the Bhavasagara. Something is descending. Now, as a dancer, as a dai, you had to offer for something for the life. Now, the time you take to offer to God, you have to imagine as if you're half immersed in water, as if you're doing the early morning Sandhya Vandana. You immerse yourself half in the water. That's why most of our mandalas are as if we are in the half water position. It's Jalakrida because the vritti itself is Kaishiki vritti, which is an Apsara vritti. They are in the waters. Most of the movements are anti-gravity movements, as if half squatting, half swimming. We are swimming in the half. Pada Nietzsche is, imagine as if there is water. This half is above the water. This is not an imagination. This is what Kathakali, many of the theatrical costumes are designed. Hip below, most of the costumes are same in traditional drama. If you want to identify a character, it will only be above the hip level. Because Nietzsche Yahantak, everything is like in water. Because all the patras, in principle, are born from water, and that water, Mantana, is the Samudra Matana. From the Samudra Matana, actors are born. That's why that's the first ever play in Natyashastra. Because Samudra, water, is the first evidence for dance or theatre can be born. Samudra is of cosmic water. Now, having said that, now, many of the movements are waterborne. The first offering you do is take the water and do the dhara to the god. Second offering, you go into the water, say the same Gayatri. Deep, full water, go down. That's what we call as Murumandi. Third offering, same, get out and swim out and pray to the other devatas. The first offering is done standing to the god. Second, go into the water, do the same amount of avarta. If you do 3 avartas here, do 3 avartas within the water, do 3 avartas here, and do 3 avartas of the Korappu and finish it. It's actually condensing the Devata Vandana, the Guru Vandana, and the Sabha Vandana, and a Surkat into a 3 minutes piece. But actually, they were very elaborate rituals. Having said that, how it happens, just because you're standing in the water, everything is it's like water gentle. Tam, ta, te, ta, te, tam. is as if you're touching the water, as if the ripple starts. Tai, ta, tai, tam. And this is as if this entire being is a lotus. It doesn't touch the water, it dawdles. Ta, te, Teyum is a kind of signature piece what a lotus can have, because it starts from the Pratyanga, then penetrates into Upanga, then only Anga moves. It's not the other way around. Because when the lotus is touching the water, only the tip touches first, then the water is withered off, then the inner, then withered off. Then it should be touch me not, but yet very, very, very anchored. A lotus is completely anchored. It can't be very, very dila dhala, but anchored. A lotus would bloom now. I would invite Veena to demonstrate in that sense how it opens. Aladabbu.
Dalang kutak tadigina tom ta te yum dat tam kita takadat te yum dat tam kita takatam dit tam kita takade ta te kita takatam dit tam kita takade ta te kita takatam dit tam te tatti hit tam 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 dita te tati 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 tam dit tam kita takate ta te kita takatam dit tam kita takate ta te kita takatam dit ta te tatti hit tam dit ta te tatti hit tam de tam te tatti hit tam dit ta te tatti hit tam de ta te tati 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 tam de tam kita takate ta te kita takatam dit tam kita takate ta te kita takatam dit ta te tatti hit tam dit ta te tatti hit tam de tam te tatti hit tam dit ta te tatti hit tam de ta te tatti tam de ta te tati 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 ta hata jam tari ta jam tari jaka tari te tadi kita tum taka tadi gina tum taka diku tadi gina tum tam drigr taka tam drigr taka te drigr taka tam dalang ku taka tadi gina tum ta te yum dat tam kita taka tam tam tam.
We just saw the Pushpanjali, the Pushpa, it's born. Next. Actually, what is a Pushpa? Like, I would just take a few minutes. What is actually offered? That which is offered to the dead, to something. In turn, what is offered disappears and some other completely different entity has to be born. I'll explain it. When a painter is doing a canvas, you only apply strokes and patches. Strokes and patches are done. A canvas is an empty, hungry devata. It eats so much of strokes. At one particular point, the strokes disappear and the painting is born. When the strokes are seen, painting is not seen. When you see the Painting, strokes are not same. What is it for music? Actually, what you offer to the Devata, the Nada Brahman, is silence. Silence has to be offered. And that silence, when you articulate, it comes as Shadja. Articulate within a frequency, altered frequency. There are many experiments being done. Everything you offer is only based on that. And something called music is born, but ultimately, it is a voiced silence. Music is voiced silence. Because, and it comes to dance, the pushpa offered is body. Body has to disappear. No one should be able to register the body. When the body should be transparent so that something else speaks through that. So much so that something else, some other world, if you register the body, dance has not happened. If you see the dance, mostly we don't remember the costume. Well, which if you offer mantra pushpa, the devata has to come out. The mantra should disappear, the devata, that entity is called pushpa. Anyway, that's called pushpa anjali. The body is offered as a pushpa. Next. Yeah, we did it. Next. 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 Yeah, next. We are not, okay. This is, we'll go next. Next. Yeah, one minute. Just a minute. Now, any temple service, Alaya Seva, Asthana Seva, any Ata Seva, any like Kuravanji or, see, actually there are there's a survey being done on the temple. The survey details of the temple is available in the Alaya Seva. The survey detail of a court is available in the Asthana Seva. The survey detail of a forest is available in the Kuravanji. A survey detail of a mountain, of a village is available in the Theyyam. A survey of a forest is available in Dollu Kunita. Yeah. Survey is fine, but how do we do that? Methods, how do we do certain safety aspects, the experiment, observation, symbols and sigils in its content. Next slide. This is end of part 2. I would quickly finish the part 3. There is some data to be said. Please. This is an important understanding. Any of a survey method would ask us to achieve this. Shringara is not an act, but a quality. All our working would lead us to imbibe Shringara as a quality to us. All our action on Shringara, finally Shringara is a Lakshana. That's how, when Natyashastra says Shringara to be a Lakshana of an actor, it does not mean as if we are entering with Shringara. When the being will be of Shringara, all the effort is taken as if love becomes a quality of life. Love has to be quality, not an action. Initially it starts as an action, but ultimately, even by the end when you go to Kashta, you're not still understood love is a quality. There's nothing in action. Any profession, doesn't work, any education has not helped you unless and until you have come in terms that love is a quality but not an act. There is no public demonstration of affection. There is no PDAs. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just said that particular pose in which the Bhagam Periyal, Ambal was seated, it's Bhoga Shakti, the sculptors themselves say as if the Mother Goddess have done all her work in the morning as Jagadamba, protected everyone. She comes and sits in her home as if she want to take rest. How does she do it? With absolute Shringara. Love for the entire world, love for the children, love for everyone, love for her students, love for her Sakhis, Sakhas, love for her Swami. She comes in, like this is a typical, Bhoga Shakti's posture is a typical women's posture by the end of her day's work. At that time, quote unquote, the famous photographer Raghu Rai, he says, at that point, woman is not anyone's property. She's all to herself. Don't disturb her. All of us know this. So that is what has been captured and kept in the Garbhagudi. That aspect, when that frame of a woman, she is not Karpagambal, she is not Chamundeshwari, she is Bhoga Shakti. Bhoga Shakti is that her entire Bhoga is within her. It has imbibing Shringara as a quality. That is achieved in this land. It's not impossible. It's not something we are speaking out of the skies. It is achieved. When you see that, you understand. Yeah, it is achieved. Next. Yeah. Now, emotions. Who would understand emotions best as an entity? We, as performers, actors, we only know the secret of emotions. Because many people think emotions are something very strange, this, that. Nothing. Emotions are emotions. It just moves. Transient, very transient. Very, very transient. Why? In principle, it is creatable. In principle, within 5 minutes, you can shift it and make others understand as if you are crying. So actually, we know, oh, something, actually I never cried, but they are saying, oh, I wept. Why did you weep? I was not so moved, but they were moved. There were many times we were very tensed here doing something. They said, it moved me. Like, emotions, that is the state, actually. Emotions, that's why, in principle, emotions are, you can formally study like colors. Like swaras, emotions are studyable. You can make a formal study. And who has the secret of emotions? Actors. It has been codified in the texts, how to handle it. How to start it, how to end it. Basically, emotions are nothing but breathing patterns. If you are in Shringara, you breathe in a particular way. If you are in Raudra, your breath pattern changes. You are in Shoka, breath pattern changes. Remember, you breathe that way, emotion comes back. If you breathe that particular way, that emotion comes back. This is what the Kathakali Ashans would call as Prana Abhinaya or Swara Abhinaya. It's called, there's a complete sadhana on it, which not come to our main. It's a big sadhana. With prana, you can play with emotions. Now, we have to understand these three levels of emotion, the three layers of emotions, tamasika emotion, rajasic emotions, and sattva emotions. What is this? At the first level, I am like the completely immersed pigeon tied to the rock into the water. That's tamasic emotion. You have no hope of escape because you're constantly reacting to the situation. I'm angry, 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 angry. You'll get deeper, 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 deeper. Such an emotion where there's inertia in emotion. Emotion has nothing else just to keep responding and responding and responding to it. It's called tamasic emotion. Same to Shringara also, not just anger. Just keep falling in love, falling in love, falling in love. You're only putting yourself down and down and down. Rajasic emotion is you have liberated from tamas, but your balance is not found. That state is called rajasic. There is no samatha in it. This, you've liberated from tamas, but you're not, so you're very rajasic, you respond, you react, respond, react, respond, react. At times you're quiet, at times you want to make something out of it. The third state is sattvic. Sattvika is you're completely out of it and you see as if it's something external happening to me. You observe, you become observant. That is like the lotus. But it is born from the same pond only. Next. This is called Sakshi Bhav. As if a monk is watching a flowing of the river. Actor is expected to take a Tatastha Bhava or a Sakshi Bhava to allow the flow to grow. Next. At that level, he takes an asana and imitates the world. He just quietly sits in the bank, looks at the Bhavasagara as an image, and imitates and talks to them. And only at that level, you have the rights to interpret the world when you sit in the Tatastha Bhava, in the Sakshi Bhava. Next. Only at that level, the emperors can say their content. Emperors are that people who are in the Tatastha Bhava, who are relieved from the metrics of the world. And when you take a asana, it should not touch the earth. It should not be touching the earth, it should be in mid-air. At that level, you speak the truth. You're given that special honoring to speak the truth. Henceforth, when someone is invited to reflect the world, you give that asana to sit and do abhinay. Next. You reflect the world by sitting. One who have sat down, one who have taken their spines into their hand and their erect spines, they are the people on which the entire world came and fell at their feet. Only at that level, your body reflects truth. Abhinay at that level reflects the world. Now, I'm not going to stretch anymore. There are a whole lot of material, it was there. But I would just take one important thing. By then I would finish. I'm really sorry. I've taken a lot of time off. Yes, a few more slides. Yes, this is an important thing we have to understand. When Hanuman had to speak to Ravana, he had to be given an asana. Because without the asana, without touching the earth, you can't speak the truth. Even to inform Ravana about his own truth, he wanted an asana. To become an actor in front of Ravana, he wanted an asana. He was not given. Henceforth, he assumed an asana and said Ravana, hey, this is the truth to you, and I have to say this to you. Please don't do this. It's a simhasana, like as if the gods have come and given him that particular sthiti, so that you can't touch the earth and say the truth. You have to be above the earth, non-touching. At least a fabric has to be there. At least a cloth has to be there to sit and say. Next. 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 Well, this is another discussion, like who's a Nayika? In one word, I have to say, Nayika, for many of the urban crowd, this is a problem of interpreting Nayikas. Nayika is not a woman. Nayika is a Lakshana. It's a group of a grammar. It's a grammar being worked out. That grammar can be worked in a male body, female body, whatever body. It is nothing to do with Stri. There is no Stri Lakshana, Stri Bhava, no Purusha Bhava, Natya Shastra, any of the dance texts. They speak about Nayika and Nayaka. That's Sthiti which is yearning to unite with something. Entity A is yearning to unite with that central entity called B. That central entity is technically called a Nayaka. One is moving towards is called a Nayika. That's it. Any body, all these bodies always, the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya says, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya says, every living being is only a Nayika because it's moving towards the center. That center, what you say the epicenter, is the Nayaka. It's a technical term used, and with that, the entire theatrics has been designed on this particular bhav. It's as if it's in a flux and we're moving towards the center. This is one important data I had to say. That's why I actually had to stop it. Now, yes, next. Next. And the art of waiting. Waiting is considered to be a very important aspect of trance meditation, to hold back yourself and see objectively world is. The art of waiting is the art of nothing to say but only to listen. Next. The artful waiting of the great yogis. Next. Sri Aurobindo speaks about trance of waiting. More you wait, you get into the state of trance. This is an important conversation between Tulsidas and Rahim. Tulsi once asked Rahim, "Oh, the great one, where have you learned this amazing art of giving?" As the head raises high to give, hand raises high to give, the eyes droop down. Rahim says, the giver is someone else, the God, giving day and night. The world has a misconception that I am the giver. So I lower my eyes in embarrassment. This is exactly the crux of the matter when a Nayika says, from somewhere, as you give, You lower your eyes.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಸರ್. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅದರ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ನಾಟ್ಯಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಜುಕೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಇದು. ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಾರಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಮಯಾವಕಾಶ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಆದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಒದಗಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸರ್, TSK ಸರ್, ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಲಾ ಸಂಪದದ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ತಾವು ತಲುಪಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ವಿನಂತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Thank you, Praveen, and thank you, Veena. TSK sir.
I immensely thank Praveen and Veena for helping me to do this. Thank you so much.
TSK sir,
Veena, thank you.
ಎರಡು ಮಾತಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸೆಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎರಡೇ ಸಾಲು.
ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಕೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್, ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆತನ್ನು ಕರೆಸಿ ಹೋಲ್ ಡೇ ಸೆಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು correlate nature versus bhumi versus hastas and how it is generated, how we are using it. It is so informative. I didn't know anything about this, very very frankly. And madam definitely ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 2-3 ನನಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಲಾ ಮತ್ತು ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ನನಗೆ 2 ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಒಂದು, ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರೀಕರಣನೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದ ಕಡೆಗೂ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ದ ಟ್ರೂ ಎಸೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ 2 ನಿಮಿಷದ ಮೇಲೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳೋಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನು ಮರ್ಚೆಂಡೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಈಗ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಂಗೀತ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಅಥವಾ ನೃತ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಮರ್ಚೆಂಡೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ರೇಟ್, what is the power I have got because of this, the status, what is the status in this industry to me, fame. ನಾನೇನು ಹೆಸರೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಹೆಸರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ. ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸೇ ಇಟ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ. Art has become a profession, art has become a business kind of a thing. ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾ? ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್, somebody should look at profit, success, power, status, fame, money. If you take this as a profession, I underline that word, as a profession. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ? ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್, ದ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಹಾನೆಸ್ಟಿ, generosity, discernment, patience. After all this, you might get perseverance. So, if these two, whether we have to merchandise or do we have to go towards spirituality, it is at what stage do we really have to go to this? Suppose if I am at 18, do I have to merchandise or do I have to practice spirituality? ಎನಿವೆ, ಇಡೀ ದಿನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಇದೆ, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಾತಾಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಮೈಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಡೌಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ if it is at some stage we have to turn towards spirituality, if it is so, it is at what stage? Do we really understand a spirituality at young age? And if spirituality has to be practiced, it has to be taught. So ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿರೋ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ, how you lead, you have to lead by an example. Just preaching is no use. Just telling something is no use. So today in the industry or in the field of art, ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ಇದನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಏನು, ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ. How many of us will be able to follow this? And is it just telling or is it to be practiced? ಆ ತರಹ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಗುರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಬೇಕು. ಗುರು ಸತ್ಯವತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಬರೀ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಶಿ ಲೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಒಂದಿದೆ, ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಗುರುಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಬೇಕು. ಆ ಗುರುಗಳು ಅದನ್ನು ಆ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಪಾತ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಪಾತ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಈಗಿನ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕಾಲ್ ಮೈಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಆಸ್ 50+, at 18-19 they want everything to be led by an example. Now how many of us can take a spiritual path? ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕಿರಬೇಕು ಈ ಲೌಕಿಕ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಜೀವನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅವರು ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಲೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದರು, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಈಸ್ $1 million ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ this panel discussions will lead to that and will be able to answer these questions. Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಜಯಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಸರ್.